Dear friends, have you ever paused to think about something as common as iron, and what it truly means for your brain as you navigate your golden years? We often hear about needing iron, especially for energy, right? But what if I told you that some blood specialists, hematologists, are now issuing a rather serious warning? They're suggesting that for older adults taking too much iron, particularly through supplements without proper guidance, might actually be like pressing an accelerator pedal on brain aging. It's a thought that might make you sit up and listen, and I understand if it sounds a bit unsettling. Today we're going to gently unpack this. We'll look at why iron is so important, but also how this essential mineral can, under certain circumstances, become less of a friend and more of a concern for our brain health. So, please stay with me, because understanding this balance could be incredibly important for keeping your mind sharp and clear. Let's start with the basics, shall we? Iron is undeniably a tiny but mighty hero working tirelessly inside our bodies. Think of it as a vital team member. Its most famous job is helping to make hemoglobin, that crucial part of your red blood cells. And what does hemoglobin do? It's like the body's dedicated delivery service, picking up oxygen from your lungs and carrying it to every single cell, including, very importantly, your brain cells. Your brain is a powerhouse, and it needs a constant, rich supply of oxygen to function optimally. Iron is also a key player in producing energy within our cells and supporting our immune system. So, when we don't have enough iron, a condition known as iron deficiency anemia, we can feel it. That persistent tiredness, a kind of weakness that settles in, maybe even shortness of breath, or finding it hard to concentrate. These can all be signs. So, yes, getting enough iron is absolutely fundamental for our overall well-being and for keeping our minds alert. Now, this is where things get a little more complex. For many of us, especially as we get a bit older, we might hear from friends or see advertisements suggesting we should take iron supplements. And it's true. If a doctor has tested you and confirmed that you are genuinely deficient in iron, then carefully prescribed iron supplements can be incredibly beneficial. They can help restore your energy levels, lift that brain fog, and generally make you feel much more like yourself again. However, and this is a very important however, iron is a perfect example of how too much of a good thing can, unfortunately, turn into a problem. It's like walking a tightrope. Balance is key. Our bodies are wonderfully designed to absorb the iron we need from food and to store it. But, unlike some other nutrients, our bodies don't have a very efficient system for getting rid of excess iron once it's stored. So, if we start taking iron supplements when we don't actually need them, or if we take too high a dose, this extra iron can begin to accumulate. What happens when this iron overload occurs? Well, researchers are finding that this excess iron can accumulate in the brain. Once there, it can contribute to something called oxidative stress. Imagine it like rust forming on metal, but in this case, it's happening to your delicate brain cells. This oxidative stress can damage these cells. Furthermore, too much iron can also trigger inflammation in the brain, and as we're learning more and more, chronic inflammation is linked to a whole host of age-related health issues, including those affecting cognitive function. Over time, this combination of oxidative damage and inflammation can harm nerve cells and potentially speed up the processes associated with brain aging. This is where that concerning phrase, brain aging accelerator, comes from, and it's a risk we need to be aware of and approach with caution and knowledge. Let me share a couple of scenarios, and these are based on situations that doctors sometimes encounter, to help illustrate this. Imagine a kind lady, let's call her Sarah, in her late 60s. She started feeling unusually tired, and a well-meaning neighbor suggested iron pills, saying they worked wonders for her. So Sarah started taking them daily, without consulting her doctor. After several months, her family began to notice she was becoming more forgetful than usual, sometimes struggling to find words or follow conversations. When they finally sought medical advice, tests revealed her iron levels were significantly elevated, and her doctor suspected this iron overload was contributing to her cognitive difficulties. Or consider John, a gentleman who, concerned about maintaining his vitality, decided to proactively take a high-strength iron supplement he saw advertised. For seniors, he thought he was doing something good for his health, but instead of feeling more energetic, he gradually started experiencing moments of confusion and found his memory wasn't as sharp. While many factors can contribute to such changes as we age, in his case, the uncontrolled supplementation with iron was identified as a potential aggravating factor, possibly even increasing his risk for developing more serious neurodegenerative conditions down the line. These stories, dear friends, are not meant to cause alarm, but to gently highlight that even with the best intentions, self-prescribing supplements, especially something as potent as iron, can have unintended consequences. If you're finding this information useful so far, perhaps take a quick moment to like this, so others who might benefit can also find it. So how can we navigate this carefully? How do we ensure we have adequate iron for our health without tipping the scales into overload, especially for our brain health? The most important first step, and I cannot stress this enough, is to determine if you actually need extra iron, and the only reliable way to do this is through proper medical assessment, which usually involves a blood test. Your doctor can check your ferritin levels, which indicate how much iron is stored in your body, as well as other markers like hemoglobin. This gives a clear picture of your iron status. If these tests do show a deficiency, then your doctor is your most trusted partner. They will be able to recommend the right type of iron supplement for you, the correct dosage, because it's not a one-size-fits-all solution. And crucially, for how long you should take it. They will also want to monitor your levels to make sure they return to normal without going too high. And please, let's not forget the power of our diet. For most people, the best and safest way to get iron is through the food we eat. Our bodies are generally much better at regulating iron absorption from food sources. What kinds of foods are we talking about? Lean red meat, if you include it in your diet, is a good source, as are poultry and fish. Eggs also contain iron. For those who prefer plant-based sources, things like lentils, beans, chickpeas, spinach, kale, tofu, and iron-fortified breakfast cereals can be excellent choices. A little tip: consuming these iron-rich foods along with foods high in vitamin C, like oranges, strawberries, bell peppers, or tomatoes, can actually help your body absorb the iron more effectively. Supplements should really be seen as a specific treatment for a diagnosed deficiency, not a general health booster to be taken casually. So to bring all of this together, while iron is absolutely essential for our bodies to function well, especially for energy and oxygen transport to the brain, taking iron supplements without a confirmed need, or in excessive amounts, can unfortunately pose a significant risk to our brain health as we age. It can, as those hematologists warn, inadvertently contribute to the acceleration of brain aging processes. What steps can you take starting today? Firstly, and most importantly, please do not start taking iron supplements just because you feel a bit tired, or because someone you know takes them. Always consult your doctor first and get your iron levels tested. Secondly, if you are currently taking iron supplements, ensure it's under the guidance of your healthcare provider, and that your levels are being monitored periodically. Don't just continue taking them indefinitely without checkups. Thirdly, focus on a balanced, varied diet rich in natural sources of iron as your primary strategy. Think about your own approach to supplements. Is it guided by professional advice? This isn't just about iron. It's a good principle for any supplement. Perhaps share this information with friends and family, especially other seniors you care about. Raising awareness can be a powerful way to help each other stay healthy. Your brain is an incredible, precious organ, dear friends. Let's commit to taking care of it with wisdom, good information, and proactive choices. By understanding the nuances of things like iron supplementation, we can make informed decisions that support our long-term cognitive health and help us enjoy a vibrant, mentally sharp life for all the years to come. Thank you so much for your time and attention today. I truly hope this has been helpful. Take good care of yourselves.